Cuchulainn defeated the mighty Ra. The first fight of Ragnarok's The Apocalypse of the Gods tournament is over and has already revealed overpowered fighters and busted techniques amongst the best in this entire world. So let's compare these two to some of the main series gods and break down the important reveals for the next fights. So Wukong vs Prometheus is the next fight that just got much more hype with the reveal of this Greek god, who proceeds to claim the following: "I am the god who despises the gods," with Cuchulainn revealing that he's the first god known as the Outer Heavenly God, meaning all these guys regarded as the unstoppable, unknown and untouchable came after Prometheus, the first outer god in Ragnarok, which likely means he's been going directly against the others part of the Greek pantheon, therefore getting even more reveals about the most popular or common group in this entire series is bound to happen during his fight, which is going to be interesting for some of the less important ones alongside fighters we haven't learned anything new about in quite some time, for example Hercules. Apart from that, we also have Wukong, who's confirmed as part of these outer gods, and could have even more reveals in regards to our goat Buddha, which is going to be pretty interesting to see. Perhaps some change to Wukong has occurred, but one thing for sure is that these outer gods are not disappointing so far. And the clashing of these two for the second fight of this side manga could have even more impact on the main story. And speaking about that, a section of this video needs to be spent on Ra, the supreme god of the Egyptian pantheon, who was defeated, but it seems like based on these panels that he's going to live and return at some point later in the story, potentially in the upcoming round in Ragnarok when Anubis fights, something that may be occurring for round 11 based on many people's predictions and how he got cucked out of the previous fight. Him returning with scars similar to Morrigan, who is pretty much outright confirmed as someone who was defeated by Cuchulainn by the same attack in the past, would be pretty cool and maybe would provide some insight to Anubis's power and why he's selected on the gods roster. We know why Ra wasn't part of the tournament initially, because he's an outer god who in the past went directly against the gods council wanting to destroy humanity. Remember those voting at the start of the series? That is the gods council who are voting on whether to destroy humanity. Sometime in the past they did the same thing. Humanity was spared and Ra wasn't happy with the outcome, so he went to Earth wanting to destroy it on his own, resulting in many gods to work together to take down Ra, and even with that he was able to do this damage to Egypt, the desert that resulted due to this battle. Apart from that, it seems like many fighters respect his power, whether it be Zeus, Wukong, or even the likes of Shiva. Ra's portrayal during the early stages of the fight, or you could say the majority of the fight, was that he could be amongst the strongest we've ever seen in Ragnarok, and honestly had some busted abilities as well, but the way he was defeated in those 5 seconds truly highlights how strong Cuchullainn's ability is, and that is exactly what we need to break down next. So outside of his insane durability, which is pointed out by Ra himself being able to survive the insane beating he received, his only notable win con on really any relevant Ragnarok fighter is when using his divine weapon's ultimate power alongside entering this berserker-like state, something that is described many times as the sure hit, sure kill cursed spear that seemingly tracks the opponent. Isn't just one big attack, it can expand into multiple that are just as strong as the other, making it impossible to avoid or guard against, which is insane and why it gets recognized as this sure hit, sure kill technique. That after receiving 15 minutes of an absolute beating from Ra, Cuchulainn was able to win in 5 seconds, a move that went so fast that only, you could say, top tier gods were able to see what happened. Notable ones they point out is Shiva, Zeus, and Hermes, the main explainer throughout many things in the entire series, who proceed to say it was unleashed at the beginning, a throwing attack that is difficult to defend against, even if it could somehow be avoided. Possessing equal power, those countless strikes once again attack the opponent for a second stage attack. This is partly due to Cuchulainn doing a combo, but still it makes it absolutely insane, and as Ares points out, an unfair technique. And the only way to deal with it, as mentioned by Morrigan, someone who was defeated by it in the past, is by breaking it or countering it. If you can't do that, Cuchulainn will always steal the victory with it. So when she says break it, I'm guessing if your attack has more raw power than this monstrous one, it would have to be stronger than max output heatwave thing that Ra used. You could argue some characters like Thor should have that in the bag for the most part, and maybe some arguments for some other top tier attacks from mostly gods in Record of Ragnarok so far, but the limit is quite low. And to counter it, you could make arguments for the speedy type characters like Tesla's teleportation to attack Cuchulainn directly before it lands on him, Zeus with the time stop, perhaps Adam if you have some wacky argumentation as well, and some others, but even those are pretty limited. Some have questioned me whether the likes of Beelzebub could block it with his shield. That more so depends on interpretation or the translation used. Some claim that his shield is strong enough to actually repel Thor's hammer. If that is the case, I think he could actually block it, at least the initial blow, and then perhaps to win a fight, for an example, he just outright nukes himself, a very overpowered attack as well. So there are some ways for certain gods to get around this and deal with Cuchulainn, but it is very limited and definitely still highlights this as potentially the most powerful, at least in the top 5 when it comes to single attacks in the entire series with what we currently know about it, meaning he could be ranked amongst the highest if he's able to get this attack off. You could say certain characters will be able to dominate from the get-go in a verse battle type setting. For example, Shiva using his transformation, unpredictable movement, would be able to win. Likewise for Poseidon and some others. However, Cuchulainn's portrayal of durability was next level considering the length of this fight and how a majority of it was just him getting beat up, highlighting impressive recovery after all that as well, and all the glazing Ra got on top of all that does make him seem very impressive durability wise, but really most gods or characters in Record of Ragnarok are. But the point I'm making is it's likely he's going to get at least one chance to unleash this attack in really any battle, and if they can't deal with that, it's very possible that he could win. And when it comes to Ra, I know a lot of people are going to be disrespecting him due to how he lost, but pretty much all the other gods are respecting him and highlighting his power. For example, Suzaku says, without a doubt, Lord Ra is a true master of combat. A lower tier opponent could never hope to win by mere chance. So Cuchulainn is a top tier, Morrigan is likely a top tier as well, and when we get to see her fight, Cuchulainn having defeated her in the past is just going to make him seem stronger and stronger, and I doubt she's going to lose her first fight considering all the screen time she's gotten as well with that pretty badass design. Therefore, so far it's probably safe to say you could rank Ra and the Irish boy probably around the same tier as some of these guys, with some arguments against the stronger characters. Without a doubt, these are not fodder or weak compared to the main series Record of Ragnarok gods, with the possibility that they could defeat more than half of them in a verse battle, pointing out once again that these outer gods are not inferior to the ones chosen to fight in Ragnarok against humanity. So if you haven't yet, make sure you catch up to Record of Ragnarok, the Apocalypse of the Gods. We are now 5 chapters in. Let me know down below who you think is going to win in the second fight, Prometheus vs Wukong. Check out this video for more Record of Ragnarok content, and shout out to these mad lads, the members of the channel. You can become one as well and get access to all this other good stuff. That's it guys, laters.